Dinosaurs in the Bible. I love this topic. It's something that I've taught on several times, but I'm just going to hit one right now. I'm just going to give you one thing that's going to turn the evolutionary model up on its head and make you realize that, man, Christians, it's easy being a Christian. We're going to unleash some truth about some dinosaurs. Here's what the secular world says. The current scientific consensus places their dinosaurs' origin between 231 to 243 million years ago. Their dominance continued through the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods and ended in the extinction of most dinosaur groups around 66 million years ago. So what we find in the fossil evidence couldn't be less than 66 million years old, right? That's what they're saying. I mean, if they say it, we got to believe it. That's just how it goes. I'm going to challenge you this. Mary Schweitzer found something that I think is going to challenge every single one of us. Let me show you what she found.
At first, there appeared to be nothing out of the ordinary about this bone. But this bone turned out to be rather special. Because what she was looking at when she placed the slide under the microscope had never been seen before.
Had never been seen before. The great mystery. What did she find? Now keep in mind, put in your back pocket, I want you to do something. Never been seen before. That's a big fat lie. I'm going to show you at the end of this, that's a big fat lie. But everything they tell you is true, correct? I mean, they're the scientists, people. We should just listen to what they got to say. But let's listen to what they say and see what the problem is. Because, see, they got a massive problem on their hands. And this is going to be, so she gets a T-Rex bone, right? That's a big old bone. That's a femur bone from T-Rex. That guy's laying next to it, right? She gets a T-Rex bone. It's too big to put in the helicopter. It weighs too much that the helicopter can't literally pick it up and get it out of the sight. So they've got to strategically cut the bone in half. When they strategically cut the bone in half, they end up with these little fragments. And when she takes them back to the lab, she starts running some tests, because that's what scientists do, right? They run tests and they look for honest results, correct? Amen. Can I get an amen from that? They don't look for honest results. They look for whatever suits the thing they're trying to sell you, their agenda. And so she goes and she finds something that doesn't quite fit her agenda, something that's never been seen before.
What happened next happened by mistake. Mary put some fragments of the bone in acid to dissolve away the outermost layer of mineral. But the acid worked too fast, and all the mineral dissolved away. Being a fossil, there should have been nothing left. But there was, and it was elastic, like living tissue.
This is the piece.
No. She showed us video she took under the microscope.
That's really what happened?
Yes.
That's the dinosaur bone?
Without mineral now. That's what was left.
It looked like the soft tissue she would have expected to find if it had been modern bone.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not a brilliant man. Maybe it's modern bone. I mean, as Jeff, whatever, what's his name? Is that Here's Your Sign? What's that guy's name?
Bill Engvall.
Who? Bill Engvall. Who's Jeff?
Jeff Fox.
He's not the sign guy? Bill Engvall. He's the redneck guy. They're all redneck, just for the record. Bill Engvall, Here's Your Sign. If you find a bone and this is what you're getting from it, maybe that's what it means. But let's keep watching, because maybe we're the dumb Christians who don't know anything about anything. Let's just keep watching and see if we can figure out what's going on.
This was impossible. This bone was 68 million years old.
So you see this, and you think, what? You say,
I didn't want to tell anybody.
that you'd be ridiculed,
Yes.
right?
She didn't want to tell anybody. Why? If she told somebody, she would lose all her funding. She would lose everything that she worked for, and her PhD work would be gone. Her entire life would be ripped out from underneath her if she told somebody what she found. Remember, because she found it by accident and it didn't fit. This couldn't be. This was 68 million year old dinosaur bone. There's no way that this could possibly be soft tissue in there. Let's keep watching.
And so I said to my technician, okay, do it again. I don't believe it.
And yet, in sample after sample, they were there. Things that looked suspiciously like flexible, transparent blood vessels. She finally mustered the courage to tell Jack.
She said she dissolved the bone away and there were blood vessels. And, I was like shocked. I mean,
How could that be?
How could that be? That's right.
The things Mary was finding inside dinosaur bones,
Look at that.
blood vessels, and even what seemed to be intact cells, pose a radical challenge to the existing rules of science, that organic material can't possibly survive even 1,000,000 years, let alone 68 million.
So now they're trying to admit it. They're trying to say, look, we found something that's a problem. This doesn't fit our model. This doesn't fit what we've been trying to tell everybody for all these years. So do they share that?
Mary, Jack, and their team published their B-Rex findings in a series of papers in the journal Science and were promptly attacked. Critics said their samples might have been contaminated, or that the supposed blood vessels were actually something called biofilm, a type of slime. But as Mary showed us, she's been able to replicate her findings. These are pieces of an even older dinosaur, a well-preserved 80-million-year-old duckbill. When she dissolved it away in acid,
Let's put this under the scope here.
well, look, is that a blood vessel?
This is a blood vessel. You see the branches right there? And look at all of them. And it's so consistent over and over and over again. We do this bone and it comes out and I get excited every time. I can't help it. I mean, 80 million years old.
I mean, 80 million years old. I mean, now, isn't the scientific method to test and repeat, test and repeat, test and repeat, test and repeat, document, and there's your findings? If you keep testing and repeating, testing and repeating, testing and repeating, testing and repeating, and you document your findings, and your findings keep coming back to the fact that this cannot be even 1,000,000, as they say, it cannot be that old. Soft tissue and blood vessels do not last that long. What should the findings say? But what happened when they reported it? They were attacked. All of their colleagues said, go away. What are you, a Christian now? I mean, you got to check your brain at the door to be a Christian. What are you, a Christian now? I mean, that's pretty much what they got. And remember I told you that this was not an isolated event? This isn't an isolated event whatsoever. As a matter of fact, there's a lawsuit from another scientist that found soft tissue. This is what it says. Upon examination, the horn under a high pressure. Now keep in mind, we had a 68 million year old T-Rex. We had an 80 million year old duckbill. Now we've got this off of a rhino or whatever in the world is. Upon experimentation, the horn under a high-powered microscope back at CSUN, Dacus says Armitage was fascinated to find soft tissue on the sample, a discovery Backus said stunned members of the school's biology department and even some of the students because it indicates that dinosaurs roamed the earth only thousands of years ago in the past rather than going extinct 60 million years ago. He was fired because he published this. He just settled a lawsuit about 6 months ago. They paid him a good bit of money to keep his mouth shut. Just don't even talk about it. This does not fit our agenda. Don't talk about it. Songs of ancient cells and proteins found in dinosaur fossils. This is what the article says. This is a completely different fossil set now. What they found shocked them. Imagining a fresh cut surfaces with scanning and transmission on electron microscopes. We didn't see bone crystallites, which is what it should have been if it was a million-year-old fossil. As expected, Maidment says, what we saw instead was soft tissue. It was completely unexpected. My initial response was that these results are not real. Test, repeat, document, test, repeat, document, test. If you test, repeat, document multiple scientists, multiple fossils, multiple times, time and time again, you're getting substantiated reports that this cannot be millions of years old. Christian, maybe it's not millions of years old. Maybe Genesis is right. Here's Archaeopteryx. It's the last one. Archaeopteryx, the big transitional link in the evolutionary world. Archaeopteryx, it's amazing that they found soft tissue in Archaeopteryx. So what is the deal with dinosaurs? Why are we told that they are millions and millions of years old? Because they need that to fit the evolutionary model. I'm here to tell you, if it's tested and repeated, tested and repeated, tested and repeated, and it keeps coming back that they're not millions of years old, shouldn't we say dinosaurs aren't millions of years old?